Right, Sunday morning. It is windy, it is overcast, and it is due to rain. So basically the same as the last week and the same as the week ahead. It's been cool, disappointing for summer. You know, we've all suffered the same problem here in the UK. You know, it's always southern Europe and parts of the US where they're getting heat waves. I know that's not ideal either, but you know, after last year when we had the hot summer, I sort of jinxed it a bit. I just said I'd rather have some, you know, 4 degrees cooler and more rain, and we've gone totally the other way where it's been considerably cooler and a lot more rain. But either way, you know, that is the weather. You can't do nothing about it. You just have to make do, get on with it, can't whinge. So the point of this video is we're in the greenhouse, so it's a bit windy outside. We're just going to look at some of the palms basically, maybe some of the seedlings I've been growing, and some of the sort of small palms I've got bought from eBay, various places as very small palms, and see what sort of growth we're getting sort of midsummer. So I'm not going to go through everything, and there's no point lying about it. Some things haven't done well, some things have. That's the way it goes. But this is, I do buy a lot of various random palms that really, you know, I've got no business growing in the UK, but I grow them, give them a chance anyway, because some things, you know, do tend to tolerate for half the year, maybe as a house plant, or you know, just do well in the environment I can provide. But either way, let's have a look what we've got. So we'll start off with some of the Sabals. So the Sabal palmettos, we've got 2 here, and excuse that's not a Cyagrus, what it says on the pot is a Sabal, standard palmetto. These are seedlings I bought a couple of years ago from basically one strap leaf. So they're doing okay. They're actually outside for most of the winter, so there is a little bit of damage on them, but I want to see really how hardy they were, and they survived and they're still growing, so they are pretty tough. We've got the McCurtain here, which is starting to push out a new frond. This is one I bought fairly recently, maybe a month or so ago. That's doing well. We have got Sabal Louisiana, again pushing out a new frond. You know, they're not the quickest growing palms in the world, and they are in sort of pretty deep pots. So these are all, a lot of these Sabals are going to be 2 or 3 years in the pot till they get a reasonable size. Then we're going to try them in various spots in the garden and see how they do. I know they're not really suited for the UK environment. They do need hot summers to really do well, but they are tough palms, and in theory they should handle any cold that we get in the UK. But it's just the summertime growth is a problem, because they are quite slow growing. So these are a couple of fairly new recent ones I've brought. So we have got a little Sabal Braziliensis there, so literally just a 1 leaf strap there. So I did put this in a slightly deeper pot, and we'll see how that one does. And we have got a Sabal Bermudana. I don't know why I'm struggling to say that. Considering the name, you know, Bermuda, you'd expect it to be quite a sort of cold sensitive palm, but they have actually got quite a decent cold tolerance. So, and they have got really big nice fronds on them, so we're going to give that a go as well. Right, so let's just go around here, because I've got some Sabal Riversides, which again, these were, kind of regret it now, but they were out all winter, and we did have a bad winter and they did take damage. So we've got 2 here. but we can see since the winter damage we have got a whole new frond, so that's reasonably quick growing for a Sabal. And this other one as well, we've got a new frond coming out now, sort of almost mature leaf, sort of starting to divide up. So yeah, I do like my Sabal palms, and they're not overly popular in the UK due to probably the very slow growth rate. And you can say all palms in the UK are going to be slow due to the sort of summertime conditions, but nevertheless, you've got to try, ain't you? So these are all the Washingtonia foliifera seeds that I done in February, March time. Brought 25 seeds, they all germinated, they've all done quite well. Even starting to get some sort of splittage on some of the fronds now, so they are growing, doing well. So they've been in the greenhouse, so just keep them well watered. They are in very small pots, and they'll be kept in them till next year. We'll bump them up then. Being in small pots, obviously I am watering them every day because they dry out real quick. This sad looking specimen is my queen palm, which I potted up. That looking really nice at the beginning of the year. Sort of acclimatised it to the outdoor light. Put it out for a week and it just literally burnt out. This is the newest frond and it just burnt to pieces. I didn't like that at all. So yeah, this is the frond that's put out since. It started getting a bit of damage on it, so we brought it back in the greenhouse with the lower light levels, and hopefully in a year or two that may well bounce back. But yeah, that's going to be a long-term project. That's a shame, because they're sort of quite nice, sort of coconut looking, good alternative to a coconut. They look very similar with the big strappy leaves. Not a palm, but this is one of the cordyline superstars that we sort of lost over winter. So I dug it up, and we can see we've actually got two new little ones coming from the base of the trunk. The trunk did sort of pretty much rot off, and we can see we've got two little plants coming from that. So that's going to be quite a slow process, I think, when they're that small. So a lot of these palms are not doing well. I'm not going to go into all of them, but we've got a lot of dipsis here, which they don't like at this size strong light. And to be fair, we ain't had that much sort of bright sunshine the last few weeks, but they're at the back of the greenhouse here, which is the sort of most sheltered spot. And you know, they're growing and pushing out new leaves, but I wouldn't say they were overly happy. They did get a lot of leaf burn on some of them. You'll have to ignore this one. This is the Sabal minor, which I had in the ground. I've moved it twice, and I think I might have killed it moving it. But either way, the roots looked quite healthy and had a good subterranean trunk on it. So we're potted it up and we'll give it a go, see if we get any growth out of it. If not, nothing lost there. I've just seen out the corner of my eye, and if you can see that, the ruddy mouse. I don't know what he's doing in here. See, oh, he's just shut off. There he is down there. Yeah. Either way, let's forget the mouse. Bit of a distraction. We've got some dipsis to carry out the back here. They're doing quite well. These are small seedlings I bought a few months back, and they're both pushing new leaves on them. Again, a lot of got some liquawalas here, so we've got a couple of mapus, we've got a golden liquawala, and they're all struggling. they are quite finicky palms, I know that. We've got to keep them nice and moist while it's hot, and it is hot. I mean, even on a sort of overcast day in the greenhouse, if I don't open the door, we're looking 31 degrees plus. A couple of more new ones. We've got some Penangas. So these are going to be, I say, similar to Liquorwalas. Not really, but similar in a way. They've got more of a solid leaf and interesting leaves on some of them. So they're very small, so we'll see how they go. Let's have a look at Sabal minors. These are standard Sabal minors which we grew from seed again at the beginning of the year. Two leaves. Well, saying that, I was working on the third, and we've got some grass growing in there as well. Yeah, so they've done all right. Keep them nice and moist. Another one which we have to reach over and grab. So we did have a couple of the Brahea seeds germinate. So this is the Mexican blue palm, common name, Brahea omata. So this is again early this year, springtime, late winter, early spring, and so we've got two leaves on that already. The other one is, we had two germinate out of the 5 seeds we had, and the other one is now pushing out a second leaf, but not doing quite so well, but they all grow at different rates. So we've got the Red Lantania, or Red Latan palm. So this is one I've had for a while. Does alright. I won't say it enjoys the winters, because that comes indoors under fake lights, grow lights, and that does alright. It does better in the summer, obviously, with natural light. Really nice fronds on this one. And then you've got the red petioles. But yeah, you've got the red in the leaves as well. Quite nice. Excuse me. Right, I did take a couple of divisions off the Musa sigonensis I've got in the garden. This is the Bengal tiger. And I will say one, even though I left them at this stage where they're nearly 2 foot, and this one did have a bit of root, and there was a slightly smaller one, so while I was digging that one off, we done this one. It's had no root whatsoever, but yeah, this is a week on and it hasn't sort of dried up and died, so we'll see. That one I don't hold much hope for, but this one did have some roots, so I expect that to do a bit better. Right, so I was in here this morning sort of clearing some of the weeds out some of the pots, and we've got this Bismarckia nobilis which I grew from seed. It's about 2.5 years old now, so they do have quite large strap leaves and sort of a nice bluey purpley tinge to them. But yeah, this first frondness that actually started to divide up, so that's again going to be slow, but just a really nice silvery palm. But we have got some volunteers come up in here, and I don't know what this is. So this popped up over winter, this particular one here I'm holding, and I don't know, it's really long because it was indoors at the time under grow lights, so it's really stretched out, so I don't really know what that is at the minute. That could be anything from a Trachycarpus to a Sabal. I'm not sure. It's not really got any blue tinge to it, so it could be a Trachycarpus, that one. But yeah, clearing out some of these weeds in this pot here, and I don't know if you can see that. behind my finger there, I've got a new little palm coming up there, and I don't know what that is. See, the problem is, I put, you know, when I do attempt to grow some palm seeds, you know, after a year or so, I sort of lose interest, give up on them, and I just chuck them in, you know, chuck them in the pots basically. And yeah, so we've had one come up here, and I just sort of having a little bit of a light dig about, and what I am seeing are these, and I think these were Sabal Bermindana, but I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, they're the sort of the larger Sabal seed as far as I can see. So that well could be one of them coming up there. Maybe you can see it behind my finger there. Yeah, so I do that. I've had this several occasions. You know, palm seeds, they can be sort of finicky to germinate, and not always the quickest. And I've had palm seeds germinate 2.5 years later. This then batch of seeds, I think, is probably about 1.5 years. And yeah, so even if you sort of give up on your seeds, just chuck them in a pot and forget about them, and you never know, you might get lucky. Sabal Palmetto, again, these are the seeds I grew in late winter, early spring. So we had full germination on them. We had 10, and they're all starting to work on their second leaf as well. So yeah, we are getting overrun with some of these, but like I say, when you're buying palm seeds for like 3 or 4 quid, it doesn't matter, you can keep a couple yourself and give them away, flog them, whatever. Yeah, so I mean, I'm not going to go through every single palm we've got here, because I would be here all day. This is a really finicky palm at the back here, this big one. You can see we've got one frond totally died off, and we've got a new one coming up, and a spear behind that as well. That's actually a betel nut palm. Trying to think of the name. Eureka Catachoo. And yeah, I did have 5 of them, which I had brought in a little pot of seedlings, and over the years they've all died off apart from this one. And they're for me in the UK quite a tricky one to grow. I think they do like it hot, and in the winter is the problem with that. We struggle with the temperatures like we have with a lot of palms. But like I say, I will try lots of different palms, buy them small, cheap, and you know, sometimes you'll find one that works out with the conditions you can provide. You're going to lose some along the way. Can't get too temperamental about it. You just this is why I just try lots of different ones, everything from sort of cold hardy right to tropical, and yeah, I'll just see how it works out. We'll finish up on this one. So we've got lots going on, but so this is the golden Christmas palm, Adenidia morellii. It's like the golden form. I think this is, I must have bought this last year as a small seedling, and that's done alright. Again, sort of probably getting too much light, especially with the lighter golden green colour to it. It's tucked at the back of the greenhouse here, but still probably getting more light than it wants. But I don't know, new frond looking fairly healthy, and it's pushing out a new one in the centre as well. Right, so I think I've bored you enough with random stuff. Let me know if you're growing any unusual palms. I would say there's a couple of sellers on eBay in the UK that does some truly interesting palms that you wouldn't expect to find. And like I say, I do occasionally have a little splurge and get a little cluster of seedlings now and then and see how they go. Right, say I was going to finish up. I'm going to just show you a couple of the Trachycarpus, some of the rare ones which are quite hard to get hold of. See how they're doing. So probably going to get a bit of wind noise here. So we've got this Trachycarpus here, Trachycarpus Trachycarpus, which was a one leaf strap, I think last year when I bought it. Some sort of, this new frond is nipped up in the middle. I'm not going to pull about, but now it's grown away. And I have got a little latticectus there, Trachycarpus latticectus. Again, this is just a one leaf seedling. So this was, I don't know, around £6 or something off eBay. I did buy some seeds earlier this year, maybe about a month ago, and I got impatient. I see this come up, I thought, well, I'll get one, give me a head start in case the seeds I got don't come up, because that is probably one of my favourite Trachycarpus out of the species, just due to the more tropical look to the fronds. Right, we're going to leave it there. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.